All right, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy 10 Sunday. Happy, I don't know what other adjectives you want to put towards it, but happy 3 points at the end of the day. Season 4, episode 34. And we got four more of these so called tense games to come. So, yeah, we'll take the 3 points. We're 3 points behind Chelsea now. Chelsea losing at Everton. 3 points above that team, the way Gary wants to call them, that team. And yeah, but it was a hard fought win.
Tense games.
Alonso, thanks for joining. A little bit of
Yeah.
feedback there. And Gary, thanks for joining.
Hello, Ryan, Alonzo, Matt. I saw Helen, Riddy, Steven. Welcome. Noe's in the house as well.
All right, good stuff, Noe. Thanks for joining. Helen, evening Gunners, great win today. We got there in the end. I think it was their central defenders showing the way. Alonso, at some point in the season, you do need that kind of leadership, and wherever it comes from, we got it today from Rob Holding and Gabriel with the two goals.
Yeah, I mean it was quite a shocker that not a shocker, but it was quite unclear on what happened to Ben White. But I think Rob Holding kind of showed his strengths there at the game, and I think that he should be praised for that, especially coming on late notice. I'm sure. But yeah, he put a great effort in today, and it kind of shows that he wasn't he it showed his captain qualities there on the pitch. So, I think with having multiple captains on the pitch really helps out Udegaard and yeah, I mean it was just a great effort by him, and he has some clear blocks there as well. So, yeah, Rob Holding is today's, in my opinion, the man of the match going for today's game.
Yeah, I think head and shoulders Rob Holding at 2.5 million. I think way back a Wenger signing, but sorry he didn't cost 50 million, as Arsene Wenger would have said. But showed the way for us today, and as Alonso alluded to, some nice blocks there as well, putting his body on the line and just getting the job done in the end. 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of those players that isn't a. He's almost like the El Neni of defence, isn't he? Really, he's solid. He does the job well. He does the basics well. He comes in, at short notice, which is difficult to do. He hasn't had many games really. He's kind of been stop-start, but he's come in and done a job. And when everybody else most players on the pitch today for us had some sort of poor side of their game. Today, Rob did everything, I thought, the basics well. He didn't really put a foot wrong. Like I say, had a few good blocks in the first half, and obviously came up with a goal to put us ahead. I think that's his first, so good to see. Obviously, his new hair's working wonders, and long may it continue. But yeah, no, I thought it was great, and you need players like that. Like they said in the interview afterwards, we haven't got a lot of depth, but the players that we do have coming in, like Rob Holding, can do a good job for us, and similarly with El Neni as well. They're not the 60 million, 80 million pound wonder signings that we all clamour for, but they do a good job, and that's important at this time of the season. And ultimately he could have been the one really with the blocks today, and that goal that really got us those 3 points rather than a draw or otherwise. So no, credit to him.
Was that really Holding's first Premier League goal? I believe it was in the first one in something like 81 games or something. Yeah, so, Gary, moving forward next season, we have White, White was, I think, he had a hamstring strain today. Got White and Gabriel as maybe first choice. Maybe Saliba's going to come back to make that a competition, right, for first place, first choice. But definitely Rob Holding is there in the background and available for next season if we choose to use him in rotation.
For me, it just shows the level that level of player that he is. He's not necessarily an everyday starter for us, but he can come in and do a job when we need it. And we saw that this year. Last year, I think we might have depended on him too much, and that's why I was always screaming his name. this year we improved, and that's You're always smiling. Are you smiling at me?
No, because were we screaming his name because he seemed to be there when things were happening, but he was trying to cover around.
You say that. I just say he was always late to the party, and
I'm just
and it
smiling.
wasn't a good party for us. But no, I kind of feel like, just like Cedric, those are they considered starters for us? I don't think so. I mean, I think they are good squad players that can come in, do a job, give you some starts throughout the season, and you don't see a drop off, right? And that's what Holding's done this season. So like I said, I think he's a squad player for us, right? He's going to give us some good games, but we don't necessarily. He's not our starter, which is fine. I think some players, that's where they need to be. So yeah, I think that's good. If they want to stay with you, then you keep them. But I've always said, no matter what we do, every player that we bring in, it has to be better than whatever we've got today. It must push somebody down the ladder, basically, in terms of whether or not they get to play. So that's what I'm looking for.
I can just hear something running in the background, whoever that is.
It might be me. It might be a cheeky cocker spaniel. So bear with me.
All right. As long as it's not something that the dreaded YouTube powers try to strike down. Arnie said you need a defibrillator when you watch Arsenal play.
Yeah, I wanted a stressless game today, and we did not get that at all.
No.
I mean, it was it was not the same as the Chelsea game, but at any point you could have seen another goal coming for West Ham just because of the way things were going, right? So, and our opportunities, we had many opportunities to score too, and we just didn't finish. I don't think we put enough. I mean, Fabianski made a lot of saves, but I think he would probably consider those easy saves, today, because the shots that we took just weren't threatening his goal.
No.
And the fact that we're getting those opportunities is good. We need to get better, and that's why that's just why there's a summer window coming up. So
yeah. Listen, not convincing today, but we dragged ourselves over the line and getting this close to the end of the line. That's what we needed. The summer must be about bringing the correct signings now to elevate Arsenal into what's been a lot of nervy games this season, Matt, and getting us more convincingly over the line next season, so the league becomes more of a bread and butter top four at least, and qualification into the Champions League year after year.
Yeah, it's tricky because obviously right now you've got players like Tavares who, weren't really meant to be playing a lot of first team football. They were probably meant to be a bit part player, gradually getting minutes in games, building up their experience and not overexposing them too much. And you can see he's not quite ready. We haven't got a lot of depth in certain areas. Yes, we've got Holding. Yes, we'll have Saliba when they come back. So I think our central defence is pretty solid. I think we're okay there. Right back, you have concerns with Tommy with his, calf injuries. You don't know whether that's going to be an ongoing thing or not. Left back, Tierney can't seem to stay fit. So there are some slight concerns, I think, for next season with our kind of wing back or right back, left back positions and kind of whether they can stay fit. Do we need to maybe strengthen in those areas? Is Tavares going to improve enough for next season to be our second left back, or is he going to be somebody that we actually think, do you know what, maybe we need to ship him out and get someone else as a replacement? I'm not really sure. I haven't really been. I appreciate he's not overly experienced and he has been put in the limelight probably a little bit too quickly, but he does concern me. He seems to me like a Hector Bellerin number 2. Very good going forwards, great, bombing forwards with the ball, but as soon as it comes to his defensive duties, he kind of lacks a little bit, and that worries me. And I'm not sure how much he's going to improve. but we'll see. But yeah, it's you know, I think we've got a really good foundation. I think a few good signings in the summer. I think we're going to need a few, not a couple. I think it is going to be another season where we expect to see a good number of players coming in, not just the one or two. We might see one or two star signings, maybe, but another two or three kind of depth players that we can add to the squad. Because at the moment, we don't have the ability to compete on two fronts, let alone three or four. So that's going to be really key for next season is depth. But we've managed to ride our luck to the end of the season so far. We've been unfortunate with injuries. We've managed to cover it just about and put plasters over it and kind of move things around. But next season we can't afford to do that. So yeah, it's big changes needed.
Where's Tommy Tickle? I just got a message. He's stuck at the checkouts at Walmart, so he'll be joining us.
Here's a question because we're talking about Tavares, right?
Yeah.
Is Arsenal's recruitment poor because they didn't see Tavares as being because it seemed like he was going to be a viable replacement, right, for Tierney, but his defense, I don't know what. So you bring him in, you've been practicing hopefully on his defense. It did not look like he could play defense. His awareness on the pitch as far as positioning as a defender just doesn't look like it's there at all. Like he's never thinking about defending first. And that seems, and it's not like, okay, it happened one time. It's happening every time. He always seems to be out of position when it comes to defense. It doesn't look like he's going to get any better.
I think we signed him for his potential, and I think that obviously there's a lot of work that needs to be done with Tavares, but I think he's got a lot going forward, and if we can coach him and manage him in the ways needed to defend properly, I actually thought he had a better game today than he did against, especially the second half against Manchester United. What did you think, Matt? And then I'll go to Alonso.
Yeah, to me, I think it was probably almost just as bad. I really didn't rate him today at all. I think he got caught out quite a few times. Even when he went forwards, he kind of kept the ball too long, got dispossessed a few times. I just don't think he's ready just yet for this level. I think he's a slow burner. I think he's got all the raw ingredients to make a great cake, but I don't think he's quite ready yet. I think he's one of those that is probably best as an understudy, but we need someone who's going to be consistently fit in that position to give him enough time to be able to develop. He's just not quite ready yet to take on that, first team starter or go for a long period, covering for Tierney, because he's just not there yet. He almost needs another season behind the scenes working on everything to bring him up to that speed where he's ready. So yeah, I'm not convinced on him just yet, but I think there's a good player in him. He's just not quite there yet. He's just vulnerable. Like I say, he's a second Hector Bellerin for me.
Yeah, I'm not quite willing to go that far yet in terms of Tavares. There'll be more to see from him next season as well, and he will get a certain amount of games because of Kieran Tierney being injured. Already said, remember when I said that Everton would beat the Chavs? So Alonso, Tavares.
Yeah, so when we got him from, I believe it was Portugal, right? It was Sporting
Benfica.
Benfica, right?
Portugal. Yeah.
So, I mean, one of his strengths was moving forward and being offensive, but defensively, you as a player also know that in Premier League is different. So he has to move on his defensive work the most in this case because I think it hurts Martinelli and his skill set as well because you can't have two players coming from the left and going offensively. So it kind of hurts Martinelli as well moving forward because it creates a lot of havoc, a lot of congestion down the left. So, over the summertime, I will not be surprised if he's loaned out to improve his skills, maybe to a championship side, and maybe sign Spence to replace him, maybe. But yeah, definitely he's a weakness on the team because teams know that. Teams know that going forward, he's a liability. So hopefully it'll get better, but we'll see what happens.
Steven said Tavares is trying too hard, needs time and bedding in. And I think maybe we all want to be keen and try too hard a little bit. Charlie's asking, can you join the stream? Join the backstage. We're going to have a backstage pass at the end of the live stream, Charlie, in about maybe an hour and a half from now. And join us, come say hello, and then possibly we'll get you on the next one of the next streams as well. So kind of want to. The other thing, Alonso, I wanted to go to you next. I mean, you talked about the pre-game show.
Can I talk about Tavares? I didn't get a chance. If you're going to move on,
we did. You did.
I didn't
Tavares.
talk about him. I asked Matt a question.
Oh, so answer your own question. Absolutely. Go ahead.
I know Tony's not here, but I don't have to get the Tony treatment. All right.
No,
I was gonna say is Tavares and Sambi. I mean, you get what you pay for, I guess, right? Because we thought it was a good deal that they got them, right? And we're seeing what we got for them. They're just not ready to replace the players that are sitting in front of them right now. And that maybe hopefully it says enough to Edu and Arteta that guess what, guys, we might need to spend more money on our players if we need them to come in and do a job. Put your hands up. I'm not I'm not gonna channel my inner Tony. I'm sorry, just not gonna do it. I'm like pushing him back down. No. No, I kind of like I said. I think Tavares and Sambi have shown where they've come in with questions and they haven't been able to answer them, right? So I kind of feel like we have our answers now. Going forward, we need to have players that probably have a little bit more to them coming in, and maybe we don't have to go outside the country. I have a feeling. I have a feeling if you went to the Champions League. Is it Champions League? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Not Champions League, but the level down from us. What is that called?
The championship.
Championship. Sorry. Yeah. If you go to the championship, I have a feeling if you got a player from there, at least we would know that they could handle what the level of play that you're going to get in the Premier League. Maybe they don't have the experience in the top flight, but they would come in probably okay, ready to handle the rigors of a Premier League season. They just need, they're gonna have better players around them, right? You're gonna catch lightning in a bottle more likely there than bringing in a young player from Europe where they don't get this. It's not the same. So I kind of feel like can we please just? I like to see us as stay home, bring in some, especially for some of these players, especially if we're going to depend on them. We're depending on Sambi and Tavares, and they're not there yet, which is terrible because now do we put them out on loan and go through this cycle again where we've got players on loan because they're not ready, or do we bring players in that are just going to be able to play? I mean, that's what I kind of feel like we need to be doing going forward. We don't have time to be getting players up and ready for Premier League anymore, unless they're academy players, because I think you spend enough time with them so you know. But other than that, we can't be bringing in projects, right? That's my thought there.
I don't know if we're getting a little bit of feedback from you, Gary. There's a slight echo.
I don't have anything playing on my side, so it's like I'll mute myself and tell me if it's me.
Yeah, let's try that. Great win. Yeah, it looks like it's some feedback from Gary. Or is it?
Can you hear it now?
Can still hear it a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just very much underneath. Anyway, you can unmute yourself, Gary. Great win, says Natish. Okay, so the 3 wins followed 3 losses before that, and who would have guessed we would lose, Matt? Who would have guessed we'd lose to Palace, Southampton, and Brighton? But not only that, followed up with wins at Chelsea, at West Ham and at home to Manchester United.
Yeah, it's reversed itself, hasn't it? Because I think of the games you think we'd win or lose, you would have thought that we would have won the Palace, Brighton, and Southampton games, and then gone on maybe to kind of fold a little bit with Chelsea and Man United and possibly West Ham. So I think we've kind of balanced the books a little bit. Thanks, Charlie. I think we balanced the books a little bit. I think we're kind of at a point now where points-wise, we're probably where we may have expected to be over those 6 games. But, obviously with the Spuds winning today, keeping up the pressure, every game now is a must-win game until the end of the season. I don't want to be relying on the North London derby to be put in 4th place away. I don't want us to have that pressure, especially away from home. So if we can manage to get enough points on the board to secure 4th place before we get to that point, that would be great. But I'm just happy that we turned it around and we haven't capitulated. Because in seasons past, this is where we maybe would have folded and fizzled out a little bit. But we've shown a bit of resilience, and we're showing that we can turn things around at short notice and start getting points back on the board. So it's positive. Like I say, it's a bit of a roller coaster, and it's going to be expected with the young squad. But at least we're seeing they can turn it around, and it doesn't have to be, a 3-game loss streak doesn't turn into an 8-game streak. It's it's cut it there, and then we start improving. So yeah, it's been positive.
As
we can win ugly.
Win ugly, and even the best teams can win ugly sometimes. Liverpool did that up at Newcastle. They needed to get a win yesterday. If Liverpool do the business against Spurs on the pitch next week, I think they can break them. All we need to do is beat Leeds and not take it easy, Gary.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's
2-point lead could be a 5-point lead this time next week.
Yeah, it's once again, it's back in our hands, and we just have to continue to do what we did today, is get the 3 points. So, yeah, let's do that one more time. We're gonna just give me one more win, all right? And we'll do that for 4 more times, and it won't really matter what happens after that.
Getting closer at all, Charlie. I think you asked when we do live streams. We do them Sunday at this time, and we do some pre-game shows as well. But those are the main. The main one is Sunday and a Thursday night. If you're in the UK, it'll be Friday morning, very, very early. Because here in the US, it's Eastern time, 8:40, something like that. We've got to beat Newcastle, Tottenham, and Leeds to stay ahead of Chelsea. And that's got to be the task now for this team, is to chase down Chelsea, 3 points behind them.
Guys, it is WrestleMania here.
That is not me. I'm not getting in trouble for anybody else. Not me. I didn't do it.
Hands free.
Only leaves one person. Put your hand up. Come on.
Alonzo.
Yeah.
They want you to put your hands up, but that's okay. Spurs have Liverpool next week. Top 4 would have been banked already, says Gunnar Glenn. Yeah, with those 3 games. Maybe not the Crystal Palace game, but definitely Southampton and Brighton at home. Tony Turner is stuck at Walmart.
Doesn't he know we do this show every
Only
week?
Tony.
And they deliver too, man. What's wrong
Obviously,
with
he thought he could get in and out very, very
that?
quickly.
You never can get in and out of Walmart. That's a $5 turned into like $100 shopping spree. You know how that goes.
Beating Leeds sets Spurs for a must-win, no matter what the result we have at Liverpool. Exactly. Taking care of our own business, Alonso. That's been important. Before we get into reviewing the game, very important for Arsenal to go and do what they needed to do today. And even knowing what Tottenham had done, we went and got 3 points today, which is very important.
Yeah, and those 3 games prior to this streak, it was hard to take in because, I don't know if it's just the pressure we do so well with pressure on or pressure off. It's quite shocking, actually, knowing that we should have beaten those 3 teams, Palace, Brighton, and Southampton. and to see where they're at now at the table and see where we're at. So beginning of the season, people were like, "Well, yeah, Arsenal get relegated. People are gonna, lose their mind because Arteta's not good enough to coach this team." And yet we went on the streak we went on into December, and we kind of didn't do that great. And then look at us now. We're still top four. So it's just quite amazing the journey we've been on. And whenever people are just counting us out, we kind of rose to the occasion, or the Arsenal have. And we didn't really have the offensive powerhouse that we have. We scored 2 goals on set pieces, which had been kind of our weakness in the past. And
Yeah.
so, we've kind of shown kind of that as well, that we could score in other ways. Uh, so yeah, it's kind of good feeling knowing that we could do that as well, and just so that we could win when the pressure's on, and it's quite remarkable to see. Where in the past he kind of stumbles. So yeah.
I'm just smiling at Tony's obviously feeling a little bit frustrated. He's stuck at the self checkout registers. Well, Tony, get home safely. Get on whenever you can. I think Mahir will be joining us a little bit later. Also, want to tell you, Kahoot is back. A little clue for everybody. It is. It's going to be what my notes say here. It's a little bit like Arsenal. You have to first identify the striker you want to target. So it's twofold. You got to identify what the name of the striker is. That's going to be pretty easy. The difficult part will be breaking the anagram. So the 4 choices will be anagrammed, and there's 1 minute for each of the 8 questions. So I would caution you to take your time and get the right answer, and don't feel like rushed. If anyone's new to Kahoot, download the app on the iPhone, and we'll have a little bit of fun with that a little bit later.
Do it, people. Download it. It's great fun.
Completely free. You don't have to sign your life away and all that good stuff. Matt, it did seem like looking at the game at one point in my notes. I was feeling the only way we were going to actually score a goal was through a set piece. And it did happen that way in the end.
Yeah, we we didn't really create a lot. I know Eddie and Katia had a few chances throughout the game. He looked, he tried to be a bit of a menace, but nothing really came off for him. I think a couple of chances he probably should have put away or done a little bit better with. But he did well overall. I think he's looking more of a striker than he was. He's making more of an impact, and he's certainly having a go on goal more often, which is great to see. I think if he keeps doing that, he'll get the goals, and he's proven in the last few weeks that he can put them away if he gets enough opportunities. But yeah, today it was a bit frustrating, wasn't it? We didn't really look like it was going anywhere at points, and we're thinking, well, where is this gonna come from? It's almost a bit of a stalemate, and our set piece coach comes good again.
Yep.
I thought Rob Holding did very, very well for that goal. There was some good play to kind of take defenders out of the game a little bit, so that Rob Holding could go and make that run and make the jump for his header. So I think there was some kind of off the ball work that they did really well with, to make sure that he wasn't crowded out in the box and could actually get on the end of it. But I thought he did very well. Good leap, glancing header, put it right in the corner where the goalie couldn't get anywhere near it, and should be very pleased with that. Yeah, very pleased.
Nicholas Jover. Charlie said, "I can see that Mikel Arteta is going to get sacked by the end of the season."
No chance.
Crystal ball is out.
There's no chance.
Yeah, but Gary, 26 minute. I'm just going to lead up to the first goal here. 26 minute. There's a header. It flicks off and it hits maybe Granit Xhaka's arm. I'm a bit worried the VAR is going to go to take a look at that. It didn't happen. The 28th minute, we get a corner, and Martinelli plays it right into the goalkeeper's arms. But 10 minutes later, there's a nice move in the left side, which releases Tavares down the left, and he runs centrally. the ball that doesn't come to fruition, but the ball gets played back to Eddie Nketiah. He takes a shot, saved by the goalkeeper, which brings the corner on that we're talking about with Rob Holding's header. So Rob Holding rising, he beats Fornells, and we're 1-0 up.
Yeah, no, I want to see more of that from Saka. I mean, a lot of it. I don't know. I can start. I'm hearing some stuff in the background here, but
Yeah, the echo.
maybe
Maybe.
yeah. No, but yeah, I don't think I caught that one, but I think we just need more of that as far as putting pressure. And like I said, I think Saka needs to do it a lot more than he does. He might look like he might think he's doing it enough, but I feel like he needs to do it a lot more because at some point it's gonna come out. I mean, and then he puts a shot on, and you see later in the game he puts a shot out. He can do that. Just needs to be more aggressive when he has the ball there. Um, that corner and that header from Holding, really good, really good. I mean, goalkeeper had no chance, right? He just stood there and just watched it go in the goal. Like, sometimes they actually can react fast enough to be able to at least move in that direction. He was just stuck on the spot. He couldn't get out. So that was great. I don't know how many times we've seen a header like that, right, where the goalkeeper just basically doesn't have a chance at it. So we'll take it. And we've been scoring a lot on our set pieces, right? I mean, I think even Partey's got a goal that way, right? So I think, and he doesn't have, he's not really good from outside the box or from outside the penalty box, much less. So yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, definitely. I have one question. Do you think it will all go down to the last day of the season, sort out who wins the title, who wins UEFA Champions League qualify, and who gets relegated? No, I think the title will go to the last day of the season. We're hoping top four gets finalized before the last day of the season. Hopefully, we're 5 points ahead of Tottenham by the end of next weekend, and then the North London derby will have a 5 point difference between us and them, Matt. And
that's the way we'd like it. That's the way we'd like it for sure. Yeah. Just to answer, where is he? Stephen OT's comment on Nketiah or Laka on contracts. I think, to be honest with you, age-wise, I think Laka's been great for us. I think he's done a lot for us in the last few months, but I think we have to move forwards. His age profile isn't great. I think he's kind of coming to the end, the twilight years, so to speak. So I think we need to shift him on while we can still get some money for him. Look to younger players who have a little bit more energy. I think he holds up the ball very, very well and plays others in, and that's worked to our advantage in a number of games. But people have sussed him out a little bit. I think he hasn't got the legs really to do a proper striker or centre forwards job. Although I know he's not technically a centre forward as such, but we need players who can run in behind, like Nketiah, really cause a problem, use a bit of pace, give us options. Laka doesn't really give Odegaard or anyone else really many options to play balls through, and that's how we like to play. So I think for me, Nketiah, out of the two of them, Nketiah should be given a contract, and I think he's shown in the last few games that he's probably pushing, and he's asking questions now of Arteta to say, do we keep him? Do we offer him what we need to keep him at the club for the next few years? It's whether we can give him enough football, because I think we've given him a contract and offered him one, but he didn't necessarily want to take it because he wasn't getting enough football minutes. So I think hopefully within the amount of games he's had towards the end of this season, and with more competition next year, we're going to need more players in the squad and the guarantee of more minutes. I think we could well see him stay at the club.
Stephen said 100% on that, Matt. No likes, but I'd have said different 6 months ago.
Yeah. A lot has changed in that 6 months. I agree. Yeah.
It's very weird. Lacazette has been a decent striker over the years, but he suddenly ground to a halt where
Yeah.
his assists were the thing, and now we don't get much of goals or assists from him.
I don't. I mean, I don't. Well, Lacazette is going to give you a full season, so and then he starts to wear down. Teams lean on him, and then we don't get anything from him. He can't do something else, right? And when he first came in, he was helping solidify that middle because he was coming back so deep. Team sussed that out, right? And now he needed to do something different, which was to open the game up a little bit up top, and he can't do that. He could never do that. So it didn't really help us. So, and we're much better, I think, in midfield now than we were at that point when he came in. So he's good to come off the bench and help us get things going. And once again, similar to like a Holding and a Cedric, not somebody who's a starter for us, not with what we want. Even Nketiah isn't really a starter for us. So keeping him for me is just, it's kind of just pushing the can down the road. You're still not getting what you want with him on the pitch. Like it's like you've got either a Martinelli or a Balogun that you could do the same thing to as far as giving them minutes to help them grow into whatever position you want. And you probably might get more out of it. So for me, I don't. If he's already turned you down, for me, he's made his case for what he wants to do. Right? What I don't think Arsenal usually doesn't give these kind of contracts where the players are like, well, they're paying me. They don't want to pay me much. When they offer you, usually it's a decent amount. So I'll be surprised that he's walking away and going elsewhere and getting more money elsewhere. You know what I mean? I think he's going to get more playing time, but I doubt he's going to get more money based on where he is right now and what he offers to us. So sometimes you just have to move on. And we talk about being ruthless. I mean, once again, we need a player that's better than what we have. So whatever we do with a striker, Eddie's not going to get lots of minutes because he's going to be at least number 2, and he's more still a number 3 the way he's playing right now anyway. So why wouldn't you just go even younger and get a solid 1 and 2 striker in the house so that you don't, we're not doing this again, right?
Yeah, Alonso. It seems like Eddie's time at the club should be coming to an end, and I think it's mutually beneficial both for him and for the club. He's about the only striker we have left to play the position, and we want to maybe get him a move in the summer as well. The only way to do that maybe is to play him and get the benefit out of him so we can get top 4 and he can get his move, Alonso.
Does anyone know how much he makes now, Arsenal?
I think it's like 70, I believe.
Tony, we need Tony for that.
I think it's 70. People have been saying 100, but I think it's more closer to 70.
Yeah.
Right. So for what it's worth, he's not worth that much money, because a striker who's at Arsenal also do more for what they're worth, right? And he's not doing that. But I don't know. It's just tough because I would like to have him come on and like a Danny Welbeck role, like someone said in the chat. But other than that, he's just number 3 striker in my opinion. He's more like a bench player, like a spot player. And if Arsenal were ambitious, which it seems like they are at this point, you gotta go for someone who wants to be here at Arsenal. Maybe Gabriel Jesus or whomever else. I think Arsenal should just let Eddie be and just let him walk. Because you're not getting nothing out of him, obviously. But it's important that he just proves his worth while he's still here. And that means just scoring goals, at least trying to score goals at this point, because you're not getting nothing much out of him going forward, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, I think that games like today, he fights. He almost had 2 today. So, with that said, he should just continue to start. I think he offers more than what Lacazette does at this point of the season. So, Melvin try his best while he's still here.
As Melvin says, only play him if he can help us win games, and that's what he's doing. He's not doing it 100% effectively, but he's playing the position, and he's playing it to a higher level than Lacazette was giving us. Not just doing it to help sell him, but the two things are mutually beneficial to each other.
We,
Eddie,
we've
Pretty much, yeah.
never improved anybody's value by doing any of the maneuvers we did, either loaning them out and or playing them, because we're not doing it correctly each time we do something wrong. Either we give a wrong contract when we do loan them out, or we don't play them, right? I mean, so I kind of feel like they need to do stuff for Arsenal. What's best for Arsenal, right? At some point, you're just going to have to do that. They've done that with other players that cost a lot more money. So,
okay, Alonso, you gonna check out now, and maybe Tony will be here soon. My hero will be here soon as well. So reinforcements are on the way. But
All right, guys, take it easy.
all right,
Nice seeing you guys
Lonnie.
today.
Here's Alonso.
Very take it easy, guys. And
thanks,
point
Alonso.
Arsenal. All right,
Have a
got
good
it.
night.
See you guys.
All right.
See ya.
Do you know what? Eddie is never going to be our number one striker.
No.
I think I think there has to be. I mean, he's on 45 grand a week at the moment, so it's not top draw money, but it's decent enough money for someone in his position. I think he's going to have to accept that if he really wants to progress his career and become a number one striker, starter at a club, and get full-time minutes week in, week out, then Arsenal is never going to be that option for him. And if that's the case, then he has to move in the summer. He has to move in the summer for his own career. If he's happy being an important rotational squad member who can chip in with goals, help us on rotation in competitions, but not be the star man, then he can play a really important part of the squad. It depends on what he wants and how important that is to him, And personally, he seems to be the type of player that wants to be a starter every week and get minutes week in, week out. And I think that's why he hasn't signed a contract yet. Arteta's never going to be able to guarantee him minutes week in, week out. That's just not going to happen, even next season. Even if he scores 6-7 goals between now and the end of the season, he's not going to be our number one striker. So, to be honest, I can only ever see him leaving the club. I can't see us. I can see us wanting to keep him, but I can't see Eddie wanting to stay based on what we can give him. And that's just the way I see it. But yeah. I mean, I know there's some comments in the comment section about Gabriel Jesus. I mean, he's been banging in goals the last couple of weeks. I mean, you'd be mad not to take him. I mean, let's face it, he's in a City squad. Okay, fine. He's going to be replaced most likely by Erling Haaland. So he is a top player. Let's not mistake that. He is a quality player who would be a very, very good forward for us and would bag goals. We've seen it in his play the last few weeks. He scored, I think, 4 in one match, one again. He can score goals.
Yeah,
he can score goals. And I think in this Arsenal team, where he's a star man, so to speak, and a centre of attention, I think he could do really, really well. And I think for the money that they're looking to sell him for, or mooted, before he started banging in goals left, right, and centre, I think it was about 30 million. It's probably gone up to about 50 or 60 now. But for 30 to 40 million, bargain. I think we should snap him all day long if we can get him at that money.
Steven said 45k is great money to stay at a top club and fight for a position. If he leaves, he'll be at a mid-table club, maybe even worse, and then the championship. So, in some cases, Gary, you have to know the environment that you are in, and maybe understand your position as well within the organization.
And now that he's at this point in his season where now he's playing, you're like, this is what we've been asking for since day one. And we've been asking from this, not just day one, but the last couple of years from Nketiah, right? And when's the last time we've been like, can we get this from you consistently? But now we're seeing it. The end is here. The end is here now, and now we're seeing what we've been asking for the last number of years, right? He's had opportunities to play. I think the number of games that he's played, the minutes might not be what you want, but Milsworth Row is showing you, that you don't need full games to make influence the game. So you come in, you do your job, you put some pressure on the back line like he's done, and you reap the rewards. And he hasn't shown that. Now at the end is here, and I thought 70 was what he was making, but 45 even. The fact that he's not producing anything for you, not costing that much money, and now you want to give him a new contract, which means you want to pay him more than likely, right? He's not getting demoted, as far as his cost goes. So you're not getting what you want from him now, but you want to keep him on. Why? I've said this before, and if you can go out there and improve, once again, Stan likes this one. If you can go out there and improve on Leno, then you can definitely improve on Nketiah and Lacazette.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Leno wasn't a bad goalkeeper. He was actually a pretty good goalkeeper for what we wanted. Yeah. We weren't like, all right, we need a goalkeeper because that's where we're hurting ourselves. We always thought we needed a striker in midfield to do better, and then we could keep Leno, and that's fine. Right? We're like replacing pieces that are okay, all right? And the pieces that are like on their last legs, we're just like, all right, we'll just figure it out. And so far it's worked for us. Can we just do that across the board? All right. Yeah. We need better in midfield, I believe. We definitely need better up top, and Jesus would do it, but I think there's other players as well that we can get. As long as we're improving on what we've got, like as long as Arteta looks at his bench, and I say this all the time, he looks at his bench and goes, I have no question about who's on my bench bringing him on, right? Yeah. Right now he looks at his bench and there's no way he feels confident and comfortable with the way that's set up right now. And that's without Europe.
we should not be afraid of change as people, and we should not be afraid of change for our club as well. And Eddie Nketiah is not going to be. We need more than Eddie Nketiah. Even if he stays at the club, we need two strikers. And because we're next season, Matt, hopefully we're talking about different levels that we need to achieve. Now, do we chase down Chelsea? Are we going to be the absolute best of the rest after Manchester City and Liverpool? But knowing that, we're still going to be 15, 20 points behind them at the end of the season.
It's going to be really interesting next season because you look at what's happening around us. United have been dire this season, and they are going to have a big job on their hands to sell a lot of kind of unmotivated, kind of drossy players who are on a lot of money. On paper are very good players, but they've never been able to kind of gel as a team. So they've got a lot of work to do. Tottenham, I don't believe next season, if we recruit right, that we should have a problem beating them to the top four. Spursy as always. I can't see us not being able to do that and replicate at least what we've done this season with additions. Chelsea have got a fantastic squad. There's been a lot going on around the club there. How much that'll impact them, you would have thought that would have had an impact now, really, with the mentality side of things. And it has, I think, to some degree, because you've seen some of the results they've had in recent weeks haven't been great. But I think they'll come back next season stronger. So I think we'll have a battle on our hands. I don't think it'll necessarily be competing for third. I think it'll be very much be competing for that fourth spot again. Maybe the season after that, going towards third and upwards. But it's going to be difficult. I think this summer is about sprinkling the stardust and the experience onto the squad. We've got the foundations. We've got a great young squad with lots of quality in most positions. We just need those few players in key parts of the pitch to control games for us and win games for us. I.e., like Gary and yourself have said, middle of the park, we need a really good, solid partner for Partey. We need someone up top who you can reliably rely on for scoring goals week in, week out. And then we need someone kind of at left back who we can rely on to be fit week in, week out, and that level of quality. Kieran Tierney, I absolutely love to pieces, but I really worry about his injury record and how fit he can stay for us. So I think that'll be an area we might look at because, again, Tavares, I don't think will be ready just yet to put that pressure on him, even next season, to stand in for long periods of time. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, I think the plan will be to buy some big name players. It'd be interesting to see what we go and do, how left field we go. You know, we tend to whatever we think as players. You know, we've had the Dominic Calvert-Lewins and all of that mentioned. You know, and then suddenly we'll be looking at someone completely left field that no one thought of. He'll get a load of criticism for it, but then he'll come good when he actually plays. You know, you look at like Ramsdale, for example. So much flack.
Who would have known, right?
He smashed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, it'll be one of those. I think we'll get a couple of those signings in the summer.
Why not said rather get 2 new strikers, give Eddie's minutes to an academy kid, send Balogun on loan again to the Eredivisie. Melvin said, who would have thought that we would only be 3 points behind Chelsea at this stage of the season?
Not me. Not me.
A little bit of things going on there. We're obviously doing better than expected at the beginning of the season, and Chelsea are underperforming to a degree. That's why maybe we're just 3 points behind Chelsea, with a chance of getting past them as well. Stan's in the house. Imagine if we bring in Gabriel Jesus and Victor Osimhen. Yeah. And those are the goals and the help that the Saka needs, and Neil Smith-Rowe needs, Martinelli needs, and Erdegaard needs. Our goal differential hurts. We have to keep racking up the points. Let's not be in a situation where goal difference gets counted. We see all the pundits lately trying to manipulate the points so that Tottenham and Arsenal go into some sort of a playoff at the end of the season. Let's hunt Chelsea down, Russ says.
We'd love to see it. Absolutely.
Just think how good we can be with a clinical forward. And if we would chase Chelsea down, what would happen at Chelsea? You know, there may be a movement there as well, managerially speaking. I just think how good we can be with a clinical forward. Exactly. The other
Transformers. Absolutely transformers.
Yeah. Gary, the other thing Matt mentioned about Tierney is this unavailability to play games hurts his chances of being captain of Arsenal.
I think he's out of the question, Ray.
Yeah.
I think he's been injured that much. I think for me, and I was really staunchly pro Kieran Tierney for captain, and he's gone completely out of my head. Great player, but your captain needs to be an absolute stalwart on your team, playing every week, keeps fit. You know, is there? You can't have a captain who's injured 80% of the season. It's just, you can't have that.
Frankie de Jong could also be on the cards. He said he always wanted to take the Overmars route, and Ajax Barcelona. I slipped there, but of course it's shipping Arsenal and Barcelona together. You got kind of lucky against us. Ramsdale should have got a red. I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit worried. Gary, I don't know if you saw that incident early in the second half.
Yeah, no, I saw it. Yeah, I saw the replay, and I saw them talking to Moyes about it as well. I mean, he seems to think it should have been something positive for his team, because he should. I mean, in one breath he says, you know, he doesn't like his players taking a dive, but he does think he should have left his leg in there. So
yay! I survived Walmart.
All right, there you go, Tony. But you were talking about it. You were talking about Tierney, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, Tierney and Tavares combined shows us that we are still a player away from having what we need on that left back side. We need somebody who can come in and actually start games in the Premier League and give us solid minutes, and we don't feel like we have to, as far as Arteta should not feel like he has to pull him out, even though I don't believe he's been as bad as the entire squad, but he picks on him, which seems, you know, kind of disappointing in the fact that he brought him in. Right? He brought him in and he actually, you know, has him starting there, and now he's disappointed with that. So yeah, that's for me. That's on Arteta, that he brought in a player that he's not confident in anymore, and he needs to go out and get loan time. And you know, I feel like I make my notes. I have something else. We're talking about where we need to go next year. I just feel we just need to be better than what we are today. That's really the most I can ask from the squad. So we don't have a decent squad. We still don't have our starting 11, right? We don't have a starting 11 to compete in the Premier League. We're doing this smoke and mirrors, right? Our wingers are scoring, and they're like 22 and under. Nah, we need more. We need more. We need more consistency from that position in the sense that somebody to show them the way. So yeah, no, those are my comments on those outstanding things. Tierney was my captain, but we need somebody a little bit more who's available. Yeah.
I can be on the field as well. Why not? I think you were with us on the pregame show as well. I did say I'd like to get Bowen. I think I said that, but I definitely said Bowen was going to be the danger today. So, yeah, definitely. Let's see what else we got here. Playoff. The playoff was down to goal difference. Yeah, but there was some kind of maneuverable where people were making up the goals, the kind of scores that would eventually lead to exact same goals scored, goals against, and goal difference. Of course, it was never going to happen, right? And Tommy Tuchel is back.
He's back in the building. I say someone's. I think it was Riddy says you are actually Emmanuel Petit, Ray. I think that's a fair.
Yeah,
I like that.
I can be Petit also. Yeah. Congratulations on your win. Have a good evening, Mr. Tom. Sorry about Chelsea not doing the business today. Consolation is you're still 2 points ahead. It's not over yet. And Everton still have tough games as well. So, first half highlights, Matt. Then I know we're talking about Holding a little bit, and we're going to get to the Bowen goal very soon. But wasn't a whole lot to write home about. Saka down the right hand side, he slips Cresswell, but Declan Rice is there to slow him up, and things kind of petered out. We didn't really get anything going. We didn't get too much things going in the first half.
No, we just couldn't get a rhythm going, could we? It was just a bit pedestrian. We didn't. There was no real kind of zippiness in our passing. It was all a bit slow, a bit backwards, we struggled, I think. We just didn't really have many ideas. Bit sloppy. I think both teams were quite sloppy in the first half. It wasn't the greatest start by either teams, and we didn't really get going properly. Second half was a bit better, but yeah, first half we just couldn't really get anything going. We didn't really look much of a threat. And like I say, it was like you said earlier on, really, the only way we were going to score, I think, was through a set piece. You just couldn't see a goal coming from anywhere else at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Keddy, in the limited chance he had that shot saved that came to corner, and Rob Holding scores from the header. The Bowen goal then, Gary, West Ham go in 1-1 at halftime, and it's a good goal from Bowen, but it could, show me a good goal, and I'll say you could defend a little bit better in certain situations. And what was your take on that?
If I recall, I think we were losing the ball all over the pitch, and I believe that's how that kind of happened as well. We kind of lost the ball, I believe, in midfield.
Yep.
A little bit loose with the ball, and that kind of helps teams out and puts more pressure on us, and we're out of position. I forget how that goal went now. I just looked at it a couple times.
Ball into the left back position. Tavares is out of either drawn in or out of place. What was it, Soufal, the right back?
Yeah, he was miles out of position. Tavares was, I don't know what, Tavares was talking to someone in the crowd, I think. He was miles away. Yeah. Gabriel, I mean, both of them were pretty poor in that goal, I think. Like I say, Tavares was nowhere near him. Gabriel didn't really put enough pressure on the ball when it kind of came to him. It was really sloppy, poor positionally as two defenders. Just gave him way too much space and time on the ball, and easy money for him. Really easy goal.
Yeah, a really good take from the ball in. He sort of controls it with his
Yeah.
right foot.
Mhm.
It bounces and the ball's coming up. He's able to take a kind of a scissor kicks or a volley kick on it. But Gabriel has taken the stance that he's going to try and block the shot, Matt, and it comes
But he
off.
doesn't come to the ball quick enough. He kind of just stays where he is, gets caught in two minds, and doesn't commit to actually closing the player down. I think if he actually chooses to close the ball down and close the player down, he doesn't make that shot. He doesn't make the shot, but he just kind of stands there and then just, like I say, kind of goes to block the ball rather than close the space. You know, it's. I just thought that was really poor defending. It was a bit lazy.
Well, I mean, if you're marking a man, the only person in front of Gabriel is Bowen,
Yeah.
and he's got space between him and I forget who the player is in front of him. If it's Yaka or if it's I think it's Martinelli. They both kind of just let Bowen walk into the box unmarked. I mean, so it's all around. Once again, a little team failure on this one because if they mark Bowen, he doesn't have all that time on the ball to be able to put the ball on his left foot and take the shot. So, this is where I wanted our center backs to help out, Tavage because he's going to make mistakes.
Yes.
Right, and a center back would have cleaned that up at some point, right? If that's Van Dijk and that happens where the left back there kind of gives up an easy pass into the box, Van Dijk's in there to intercept that ball and clear it away, right? Because he sees it coming, right? He knows that Bowen is in there in the box in front of him, and he just closes on to him and makes sure that it's not easy, and calls for support behind him, right? We've got 6 yellow shirts in the box to their 3, and they've got all the space in the world. So that's the communication you don't have. That's the leadership you're missing on the back line. All of that could have been, resolved with some communication saying the danger's coming. As soon as that cross comes out, like you said, Tavares has got to close him down quickly, right? He doesn't. He kind of jogs out there and then gives him a nice little shot into the middle of the box, right? And everything just breaks down. Everybody's waiting for the next guy to make the play. And guess what? No, it's you. It's you.
It's you, Gabriel. It's you. Why not says I'm conceding quickly after scoring. Lack of focus and concentration. Same old Arsenal. Yeah, there's a little flavor of same old Arsenal there. 7 minutes apart, Matt, between our goal and their goal.
Yeah, I think why not's got a fair point there. We do tend to look quite weak and quite fragile after scoring. We don't tend to kind of keep our heads and try and get a rhythm and keep the ball and just keep some possession just to kind of play through that real vulnerable first kind of 5-10 minutes after scoring and then start pushing on again. I think that is a weakness of ours. So I would agree with that, and teams probably know that. If we're saying it, then other teams will probably be thinking it and trying to, and they'll have a bit of confidence to think, if we hit them now, we've got a good chance of getting a goal back, So, yeah, it is something that we are not the best at. Got to keep a lead. How long did we have until we only had 10 minutes till the end of the first half, didn't we? At that point,
38 minutes. Yeah, we only had about
10 minutes till the end of the first half.
That amount of minutes exactly.
Come on, keep 7 minutes left to the end of the half.
What was your thoughts, Gary, at halftime then?
Well, like I said, I didn't get to watch that live, but
right.
The way it ends, that's basically when Arteta needs to be ripping into his players, saying you have to play 45. You have to play a full 90 minutes, right? You got to play a full 90 minutes. You have a lead with less than 5 minutes to go in the game. Run through the tape, right?
See it out.
We don't want to, So we need to come out. You would think, basically going, you know what, that was a blip, right? We're much better than that. And we come out like we usually do after a half, and you're just sitting there going, damn, what did he say to these guys? They look just the same as they did when we were looking really poor in the middle of that first half, all right? Just, I don't know what he's saying to him, but it's not good because it's it definitely isn't positive because it's not working. We're not looking any different when we come out of half after that. It's like we put our heads down, like, damn, no, we're much better than this. Come on, guys, wake up.
Reminds me of Koscielny with Wenger says, why not? The last 3 games, no captain, no seniority on the field. In my opinion, there are no captains, leaders in the squad. We need to buy 2 captains from elsewhere. That was kind of my thinking as well, Matt.
Just before Matt goes, that's why you're like, why is Arteta not basically? He's got to be a captain. He's got to put his captain hat on if he's not going to get it from somebody on the pitch. All right. I mean, at some point you got to say, dude, that was your job, right? That's what you used to do. Either find someone or you're just going to have to do it yourself. We're going to have to see him screaming something because they need it.
He was working. He was doing the old sideline thing again. Richard Keys will probably be updating his timeline with that, in terms of what is this man doing just outside of his box. So, Matt, what were your thoughts of 1-1 going in at halftime?
I thought it was a big uplifting performance and energy needed second half. A bit lazy, a bit slow. I was hoping that he'd kind of give us some kind of wake up. At second half, and we'd see a big change in performance. And we saw it to some degree in parts. We were better in the second half. We did have a little bit more energy. We did create a few more chances. We did look a little bit more alive. But the chances we had, we never really took full advantage of. I thought Eddie, whilst he was getting in the right positions, he was making the right runs. I think he just didn't have that final finish, did he, with some of his shots. I thought he could have done better, either with the placement of his shots or maybe not even taking the shot and actually providing the ball to someone else. But yeah, it just wasn't the best performance all round. I think the good thing that comes out of this match is that we know that we have the ability to win games when we're not at our best. That even when goals don't seem to be coming from anywhere, we can pop up at a set piece and get a headed goal. That's something that I mean, prior to the last season or two, it's been a long time since I've really been confident, that we'd get anything from a set piece or a corner. You'd almost see them as just wasted, just gifted opportunities that nothing would happen. Yeah, and it wouldn't go past the first man. It would just strike a defender and go straight back out again, and there'd be no hope for us getting anything from it. Whereas now, you think, okay, we're not scoring from open play, but actually we could get a header here. We could get something, and I think that's an important change for us. That gives us an extra dynamic. And like I say, two defenders scoring our goals today.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time we had that? I can't remember. I cannot remember the last time we had that. I can't. So it's better to be winning ugly than to be losing those kind of games.
So into the second half, we're going to come to the incident. Ramsdale out of the box, he fouls Jared Bowen, but Bowen somehow gets the yellow card.
Yeah, well, I think even Jared Bowen, I think even according to Ramsdale in his post-match interview, saying, well, even he got up and said to the ref, no, it's not a foul. It's not a foul. I mean, to me, my head was in my hands. I thought all was going okay. It was all right. You thought, we could nick the 3 points here. And he comes charging out of his box. And I think, oh, my God, this is going to end horrendously. He's going to clatter him, get sent off, and then we're going to be in all kinds of stick. So, yeah, I'm thankfully on the replay, it was quite clear that he didn't make any contact with him. Bone did go down. But it looked like a bit of a dive, a bit of a cynical dive to me to get Ramsdale sent off. That's how it looked when it was played back. If Ramsdale said that he got straight back up and actually he dived to get out of the way because he thought he was going to get clattered, Okay, fair play. I mean, if he stood up and said to the ref straight away that wasn't a foul, then I'd believe that. But yeah, it was a bit of a hairy moment because my heart sunk. My heart sunk at that moment.
Yeah, I had visions of the Champions League final with Jens Lehmann doing that as well. I mean, not the same caliber of game, of course, but a similar situation. Of course, Gary, Mike Dean, he's been very nice to us lately, and I think this is his last game. I think he's going to retire. Is he going to retire at the end of the season? I think there's some talk about that in the comment section here as well.
Yeah, I thought there's
But,
like three officials who are retiring. I mean, the only thing I can hope that the reason why that's happening is because they're going to change the way they work, and these guys see the writing on the wall as to whether or not they should stick around and be part of a new change to hopefully do better and get better results out of your officials on the pitch. I mean, that's the only thing I can hope for. Otherwise, these guys are just going to move up into the offices, and we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, which is having these poor officials. As far as I think, everybody. I'm not sure there's one
Thanks,
fan in the
Alan.
Premier League who thinks that the officials are doing good. Consistent.
No.
They're not consistent for sure.
Not
If they were
consistent.
consistently bad, you would take it because then you would know I'm not the only one, right? But they're so inconsistent that you just like, I don't. Can you just do the same thing over and over again so I know how to play this game when you're on the pitch? You see. So yeah. No, I think it's a good sign that they're moving on, but I don't know if that means we're going to get better going forward. Are we going to get the same? I guess they're going to get the same thing over again, just a new name.
Yeah, possibly. Stan wants to know if that was Granit Xhaka, what would be the outcome running out of his goal like that?
Yeah. No,
Let's face it, if Xhaka farts in the vicinity of the referee, he's getting sent off. So if he comes flying out like that, I think there's 120% chance that he's going to get sent off.
But some of that's on him. Some of that's on the officials just being poor, right? I mean, He's not like he's a saint and he's doing things always the right way. I mean, today when things got a little bit touchy there, the last person you want to go in there is him. He's not even going in there to calm things down usually for me, unless he's calming down his own player, which I didn't like that, but. He should be going in there to calm things down, and it was only Erdogan that I believe was the only person that was calming things down. So
and he definitely got to Eddie and Keddy and said, "Listen, holding his head like you got to think clearly here. Don't do anything silly." And we'll definitely get into that. As I think Alonso said earlier, different. I got a different take now on Declan Rice and what he's all about. Didn't like that, and I think he just tried to goad one of our players into doing something rash to try to get an advantage.
And he doesn't even have to do that. He just goes out there, and if he has a really good game, we might be in trouble, right? Mm-hmm. He's that kind of a player for them that if he's having a good day, maybe he's, you're like, damn, he had a good day, and we lost because of it. He couldn't do that today when he came on. So yeah.
Gunnar Glenn said one of the new referees, Gary, is called Dean Mike.
I have no doubt that we would see that. That would be really ridiculous. This guy looks so
good Mike Dean. He's the opposite of Mike Dean, right? Did anyone see the handbags with Rice? I think Kenny.
It was unnecessary though because it had already kind of fizzled out by that point. So all of the handbags had kind of been done. And then he was obviously walking kind of back towards. I mean, it was around the center circle, I think, and it was just completely unnecessary because everybody else had dispersed. Eddie had kind of walked off. Declan Rice and him, obviously, it was really silly. I think if anything, Declan Rice should have been booked for that. Really, it's almost inciting aggression, isn't it? He's asking, goading for aggression. That should have been a booking for me because Eddie had walked off.
Yeah, and Mike Dean was waiting, so I think he had booked maybe Eddie.
Eddie and
Cresswell.
Cresswell, yeah.
He booked both of them immediately, or was it Cresswell a little after?
Because there was 2 yellows for West Ham, I think, in that whole exchange. Because I think because I think it's Cresswell that pushed Eddie to start it, and then
Yes.
Eddie, of course, responded. And I thought it was three yellows given out in that sequence, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, no, I mean, like you said, why? Yeah, because Rice didn't get anything, right?
Yeah.
No, Cresswell got a yellow card and Eddie got a yellow
Oh,
card.
that's it. Okay.
Rice gets away scot-free.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just. I mean, I understand sitting back and watching it, but what are you doing to sit back and watching it if you're not going to take any actions when you're allowing players to actually continue on? All right. At some point, it's time to get the game back on. Yeah.
Stan is launching a new campaign. What if that had been Xhaka?
I agree, though. I agree. Like, if that was Xhaka there, like with his, because if you watch, I think if I remember rightly, he pretty much put his head right in Eddie Nketiah's face.
Yeah.
You got to agree that I think if that was Xhaka and he put his head forcibly into Nketiah's face, didn't actually make contact, you'd at least get a booking, at least. So he was lucky, I think, to get away with that.
Yeah, and that's where you need some leadership from Arsenal coming in, at least talking to the official, going, "Excuse me, what's happening here? We're like trying to get this game going. These guys starting up something new, and you're just sitting back watching it." And he gets, I don't even know if he talked to him. Basically, you know what I mean? Like, come on, and that's the leadership we're missing when it comes to that kind of situation. Like, you have Erdegaard calming down his own players, but also someone needs to be in the ear of the official, going, "Do your job, please," so we can get this game to continue, going. But
DX Skinner says, "Not for nothing, but that's a great catchphrase." What if that was Xhaka, right? Can you believe it's been almost an hour and 20 minutes and Tony hasn't spoken on a live stream?
I've spoken for just a second. I fucking got a phone call. Huh?
You got more important things than us, huh? All right.
Hey, how you doing, Tony?
I'm doing okay. Pissed off at Walmart. Then my car got hit by a fucking golf ball driving by a country club on the way home. So,
oh my God!
Just everybody's trying to piss Tony up.
You better stay indoors, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Don't go out for the rest of the day.
By contrast, the game pisses you off less, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because everything else takes that space, right? So Tony, did you see the Eddie Nketiah Declan Rice encounter?
No, I did not.
Okay, we'll skip on by that. Did you see the other part of the game? What did you see today?
I seen like the first half.
All right. Rob Holding scoring and Jared Bowen equalizing. We talked about Ramsdale out of the box. We talked about Rice and Eddie Nketiah. And I just think Declan Rice is trying to get Eddie in trouble there, trying to get some edge toward the end of the game. I thought it was really, really nice at the end. Matt, we're hanging on. It's the 94th minute. And Eddie is the person who relieves the pressure, takes it down by the sideline close to Arteta. And he engineers a free kick. And that's the end of the game. And you can see Declan Rice walking away in the background on the field. And that's it. Game over.
You love to see it though. We are getting so much better at doing the. I think in-game management's a bit better. Seeing games out a little bit. Not time wasting as such, but time wasting. There was one element. I think it was Sambi took a shot rather than taking it to the corner.
Yeah.
Which is one where we didn't do that. But I think generally, as a rule of thumb, I think we're much better as a team at doing that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't think I saw that because obviously Steve Denham down the bottom just said, "Have you guys spoke about when we tried to make a substitution?" The ref said, "No, I don't."
I think it was more.
It's happened to us before, so it's not that surprising that it did happen.
But when was that in this game? I don't remember them saying.
No, I don't think it was a substitution. I think Saka gets fouled a lot. Bukayo Saka gets fouled very, very much in every game, and he does not get the protection. I think he went down. He was hurt, and
he was hurt to start the day. He shouldn't have played.
Mike Dean continued as I'm continuing.
Was that when Emil Smith Rowe came on eventually?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't realise that he'd said no at that point, though. I didn't clock that. Yeah.
Now, before we're going to talk about the Gabriel header, the winning goal in the 55th minute, but we're 2-1 up. Let's say Gabriel scored that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But as you were talking about, the thing that Arsenal, these players want to do, Gary, is try to slow the game down. I noticed Granit Xhaka in the 65th minute really, really trying to slow the ball down, slow the game down. And I don't think it's a good tactic.
I don't think we can play with our foot off the gas. So I don't know. Like you said, I don't know why we even try. Mahir, welcome to the show. I mean, we're not good at anything that requires some discipline on the ball. So I say, why bother?
Just keep playing our style of football.
Yeah, we need to see the game out. We need to put. I'd rather have 2 goals in than more time wasted, because when it's not, put more pressure on them, and instead of putting pressure on ourselves when we're trying to hold on to the ball. And you just, how many times did we just dribble right into the defense? Like, they didn't even have to move; they just stood there. We dribbled right into them, then lost the ball. I mean.
So they figured out just crowd out Odegaard.
So to think that we can hold on to the ball and waste time, to me, is just ridiculous. We can barely hold on to it when we're trying to attack.
Yeah.
So it's just if you're watching that, you're like, well, no, we're not going to try to waste any time, because
thank God for corners, Gary. Thank God for corners.
Yeah, thank God for corners. Thank God for defenders. In this case, Arsenal scoring from corners is like waiting for a bus. Takes ages, then 2 turn up at once. My here's internet may not be so great.
Have our defenders outscored our strikers yet? Has to be close.
I think Gabriel's on 4 for the season now. He probably going to score more.
Tierney's got a couple, I think.
Is our risk of injury referees. Why not, says Arteta hates Pepe. Says he's training well, showing a great attitude, and then nothing. Tumbleweed.
I just don't get it. Why not sell him if he's not to play him at all?
There's that lighting. We like Maher's head is floating.
That's all sing Bohemian
you gotta
Rhapsody.
sing the song.
Wonderful to lightning.
Fly me perhaps.
Come on, sing it. Mamma mia, mamma mia.
Mamma mia, mamma mia.
We'll have to make a video of it.
So Matt, I think the turning, and we'll go to Maher in a second.
We'll just have to figure out Maher's lighting so the rest of us can look like floating skulls.
I like that, yeah.
I need to figure this out. The turning point, Matt, I think, was that decision not to give Ramsdale a yellow card, not to send him off in the 52nd minute, because in the 55th minute, Gabriel scores from a header, a Saka cross.
It's great header. I think it was his alertness to the ball coming in, I think, and the timing of his run, because he just created so much space for himself and no one really clocked it. It was just gifted.
Yeah.
A good header as well. Good header. Because it's a fairly close range. Could have quite easily struck the keeper or made it straight at the keeper to make it easier to save. But no, he did well. Right place, right time, good timing of the run, connected well. And that's what you want. You want your big defenders to get in there and be a threat on crosses and things. So that's what you want to see.
Yeah. And definitely what you want to see going in 1-1 at halftime is to get that goal to take us into the lead, Gary.
Yes, and we'll take it, right? I mean, there was, like I said, a controversy all over that goal, but didn't lead. The handball did not lead to a goal. So as much as Moyes wants it to, it's the rules are stated as such. And a nice little maneuver from Gabriel from Martinelli to take that ball and get it out of his feet quickly, and Gabriel to actually see it coming, right? How often do we see that cross come in there and there's nobody there? He was, I guess either they communicated, kind of visually, like I see it, and he was there perfectly, right? Right. So, no, that's what you like to see, and that's that quick thinking that we need to have. We can do that, so we'll take it. Nice header, goalkeeper guessed right, just not enough from the goalkeeper to keep it out. So we'll take it. Everybody's gonna give him all the lyrics, man. You're just clip it. You're just gonna clip different parts of the show, and you're gonna have a whole song.
Oh, that'll be sick if somebody does that. Actually, that'll be brilliant. Somebody.
So, Mahir, you saw the game?
Yes, I did see the game. Beautiful goal from Gabriel. With a little celebration. I see. I don't know if it's the octopus or the squid man or. And I didn't see much attacking threat from West Ham. I really honestly thought it was going to be much tougher. And well, it was like rather comfy, if I must say so. I didn't see their goal. And I saw maybe a few threats from Bowen. And that Aaron Ramsdale challenge was a bit hasty. But I mean, I think there was a back pass involved in that, if I'm not mistaken. Or through ball or something that Ramsdale had to do what he had to do.
Yeah.
Other than that, I hope everybody is well. Hit the like if you breathe. Oxygen and love to you all. I don't know where I am at the moment, but the setting is absolute fire. I should get this as a permanent setting, floating head. Freddie Mercury settings. And yeah, man, love to you guys. Love to everybody in the chat.
Love you too.
It's good to see you, Mahir.
See, and that's what winning's all about, right? Winning games.
Yeah, Mahir, you got to say it. I just killed a man. Come on, say it.
Mama, I just killed the man.
What the fuck did I walk into?
I actually know the jams.
All right. So, as you may, Tony knows the music. He's heard the music. The Kahoot pen is in.
Here we go, guys.
6285092.
6285092. You guys know what to do. Get involved in some Kahoot.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about man of the match. And I think we all may have the same candidate in mind. So this is going to be a very easy one, I think. I thought Saka was invisible, Martinelli busy with no end product. Yeah, and this was definitely not a free-flowing attacking game. There are going to be games where you're not going to be able to create a lot, and you need your central defenders to step up and get the goal needed. So, Mahir, your candidates for man of the match.
Ooh, I didn't see much, but can I give it to one of the goal scorers? Maybe Gabriel?
Yeah, you can give it to Gabriel.
I think I'll give it to Gabriel for the goal.
I'm not going to steal anyone else's thunder because I know who I'll pick. So, Gary, candidate or candidates for man of the match?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say. At least maybe I didn't see it as much as you guys, but I think it was really tough to pick one. Pick a player that stood out because it was a little. I mean, I guess scary for me at some points.
Nervy, yeah.
Yeah,
so
nervy.
I kind of feel like, who was solid for the entire game. I really don't know. I mean, wow. I mean, I think Erdegaard had a really bad day in terms of some of his passing, loose passes.
Wasn't his fault that he was being crowded out.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to. I mean, you're gonna have to. I mean, that's what Partey shows you. That when they're gonna come at you, you need to be able to get the ball out from your feet quicker, or protect it and then break down the double team that's coming at you. So. You do one of the two, get the ball out and not turn it over or make a rash pass. I think a lot of people have said Holding. He got the goal. So I guess I'll go with what a lot of people have been saying. So I guess let's go with Holding.
Yep. Matt?
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know.
going to go with Holding just simply because he didn't really put a foot wrong. Got the goal, defended and blocked, made a series of really important blocks. I think he was probably the one player today, or one of very few players that didn't have some sort of poor phase of play or
The
some.
ball went
some
between his legs.
quite great
They
today.
got a goal.
You what? Sorry.
I said the ball went right in between his legs and they got a goal. What do you mean?
What?
Whose legs?
Their goal came
Holding.
through Tavares and Gabriel, not Holding.
There's a ball that went right between Holding's legs.
I'll hear nothing of it. It was Tavares and Gabriel.
Didn't result in a goal, did it?
Savage.
Holding for me. Holding.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a quick question?
Yeah.
I'd love to ask you guys a quick question. With the way Chelsea are playing, right? Do you think they could possibly get knocked right out of those Champions League spots?
I hope that I don't think they will get.
We're 3 points behind them. Only 3
We are,
points.
but you're saying maybe Tottenham could chase them down as well as us. Is that what you're saying? And knock them?
Yeah, I'm saying what if Spursies? What if the Spuds? What if they go fourth and we go third, possibly, and then Chelsea get another 1 or 2 bad results?
I mean, I would rather be in there with Chelsea, I suppose. I don't want Spurs to be in the Champions League.
I know how much we hate him. I'm just saying that, like, when
next weekend, Liverpool are going to wipe the floor with Tottenham, and we're going to get the points needed.
That's exactly why I brought it up. Exactly why I brought it up.
Can't be happening though, Matt, here, because Chelsea have got Wolves, Leeds, Leicester, Watford, and us.
Okay, Leicester and Watford, but Leeds fought with Liverpool, and who was the other one? I mean, with us,
So you got
Wolves,
Leeds, Leicester, and Watford.
Oh yeah, Wolves. Wolves could give them a game,
Mhm.
and you know they live in our shadows, like the background here. We can see nothing. You can't see them. We are the Arsenal. We are right here in the light. Right
Yeah. Okay, so listen. There's the Kahoot pen. We're going to wait a few more minutes and we'll get started. I will say Rob Holding as well. Put his body on the line for a couple of blocks before the goal, and he stepped forward with the set piece header from a Saka corner, and we get out of there with 3 points, which is what we needed. The performance was not great. We're not gonna remember. Maybe we will remember the performance for it not being great. And this was the game where our 2 central defenders scored the goals we needed. Of course, we remember last season 3-3, so this is definitely an improvement on 3-3 from last season.
We're still not good enough, right?
BX, we're still not good enough. Well, number 1 is good enough, right? Winning the league is good enough. So there's 19 other teams that are still not good enough.
Liverpool. You can't say today was a good performance, right? Come on.
I didn't say that. Did I say it was a good performance?
I just said it wasn't good enough, and you started arguing with me.
I don't believe I said that it was a good performance today.
Get him, Tony.
Come on, when I said we weren't good enough, did you start on this 19 other team nonsense? I'm talking about our performance today. It was not good enough.
There you go. Yeah, Ray.
Yeah, Tony,
Fuck you, Ray.
Right. Tony, you're right. And goal difference counts. You're right.
The love in this
and
channel.
our defense is worse, right? We've allowed more goals than last season.
On the defense is worse, but somehow we're getting more points. So, okay. I'd rather have the points than the defense. The way El Neni.
Oh, we would have had the points last season if they didn't keep playing the striker that wasn't informed. But hey, it's a different story.
But hey, I like that. I love that.
I'm giving it to the Brazilian defender. Fly over the wall.
The way Elneny opened them up with that pass, if only Eddie could have finished. The ex-gunner was second. Holdinho, my hero, the legend, was ready.
My people, man, my people, our family. I just wanted to tell you guys also, El Nenina, I wouldn't mind having that guy around. Not like a super long contract or anything, but have you guys ever had anything bad to say about El Nini? El
Nope.
Nini's so humble and
Yep.
so lovable because he's so humble, man. He doesn't pretend to be like, for example, let's all go into Xhaka. Are you in?
Can't we have a leader
Has
through
the
the
bench.
bench? Can we talk? Have we talked about Zaka's comments yet?
We'll get we're gonna
Oh
get
my
to
God.
that. We're gonna go to the Gahoot game now. So Gary said
Oh.
he may not be able to participate.
Gabriel for
We
me.
have five
I
people.
picked. So Gabriel's done one, right?
You didn't even watch the game.
We have
I watched half of it.
Yeah, you didn't even watch the game, so you don't count.
you went to Walmart.
I know you were playing around in
You
Walmart.
were
trying
lining
to
the
drop-
Cronky's pockets.
Yeah.
I
Find
just went
something
in
you-
there for like 2 quick things and fucking got stuck in there for an hour. And 10 minutes.
Thank you, everybody.
It's funny.
It was good to be on the show, Ray.
Are you
Matt.
leaving?
So,
Oh, Gary.
I'm not going to do the
All right,
Kahoot, so I'm going to probably leave. So,
All right.
thank
Okay,
you.
Gary.
Good to see you,
Leave
Gary.
How did
leave
you
the
do
stadium.
Friday night,
Leave the
Gary?
stadium safely, please. Drive home safely from the stadium.
How did you do
I know
during
it's
happy
empty
hour,
and
Gary?
everything, but
I missed that part.
I'll get one of my escorts, VIP escorts, to take you home. So don't worry about that, cuz.
Gary, did you
All right.
have a repeat
Gary.
performance on happy hour? You
Not good. That was
struggled
good.
again?
All right, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for
Take
joining.
care.
Remember to
Thank you.
subscribe and like, turn your notifications on, and we'll see you again next week or on Thursday, where we'll be talking about Arsenal again.
Oh, we've got some newbies in.
All right, Gary. Thank you.
All right, see ya.
And thanks for filling in a bit earlier. Okay, we got 6 people. We're going to start the show. We're going to start the Gahoot game. This is like Arsenal. We got 7 people in. Thanks, Sentiment FC,
Good
Tony
win.
Shipwreck, AFC
Good
Bridge,
win.
Gunnar Glenn, Rami Yasu, Stephen, OT, and Stagger Lee.
That's
Right,
a lead.
take your time on this one. This one is not about speed. Like Arsenal, it's the
They're
hunt
all
for-
about speed. What are you talking about?
No, you got to get this
Speed,
right.
speed and power solves many things.
You
Yes,
have to
Jeremy.
identify. Here we go. 7 people in. We're starting. You have to identify Arsenal's striker. These are strikers that Arsenal have been linked with, and then you have to break the anagram as well. So
Ooh,
first,
lovely.
identify the striker. Second, break the anagram. Canadian Maple, a striker that Arsenal has been linked with, and then you have to figure which anagram is correct. So there's 1 minute for each question, so don't rush this one. Can anyone identify the striker I'm talking about? Mayer, who's the striker? Canadian Maple, Arsenal have been linked with this player. We're going to buy in the summer, maybe.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Do you see the GIF?
I see you. I see you, fam.
Now I get you. Now I'm getting you. Now I'm getting you.
All right. So take your time. You got to make the right selection. This is not about speed. Okay. Quickly, 3 seconds left. Make an answer. So B was the correct answer. Blue. Jonathan David. 3 correct answers.
I hit
AFC.
fucking blue.
What a Reds.
Sentiment FC. Second, and Rami Yasu third. Okay. There will be plenty of time for everyone to get into this game and catch up.
I hit blue, Ray. It didn't give it to me.
Brazilian toffee. Brazilian toffee.
Brazilian toffee, bro.
This Brazilian player plays for the Toffees right now. Why not says speed, power wins every time.
Holy sure.
And you have 30 seconds. So this is you got to take your time with this one. Of course,
Mad because I hit blue on the first one and it fucked me over, Ray. It's like the rest of my fucking morning.
so the Toffees are Everton. This is a Brazilian player who plays with Everton. It is Richarlison, and the correct answer was orange. Richarlison.
Yeah, it gave me points this time.
Anagram. All right. There's going to be some changes in position. AFC Reds first, Rami Yasu second, Tony Shipwreck third, Sentiment FC fourth. Stephen.
I should be fighting up there for first, but it fucked me over.
Come on, Steven.
London B. London B. These are our friends. Now, this is a player who obviously a striker Arsenal have been linked with, or could be linked with. Of course, the player's name is.
Aha.
Player's name is
The
Ivan.
anagram is interesting. I
Ivan
put on it
Toney.
now.
Good work on this, by the way, Ray.
Thank you.
I like the strike actually. I like him. I think we should sign him.
Yes.
If we don't sign
I like
Gabriel,
him.
we sign Gabriel and this guy.
Some people would say he scored too many penalties, but I think he's played quite well in the Premier League. He would be a good
Yeah.
focal point
I
and
have the wrong
Absolutely.
damn button.
option.
Him and Gabriel would be great together there.
He'll be Plan B as well.
Gabriel is
player plays for Brentford. He is Ivan Toney. 6 correct answers.
Ivan
Very well
Toney.
done.
Tony, you have the wrong button.
Vane, why not?
Vane, why not?
Shout out to you, why not? I was thinking of you when I
Nice.
mixed up that stuff. Riddy said good stuff. Rami Yasu's first, AFC Reds second,
Jeez.
Seth third, Tony Shipwreck fourth, Stagger Lee fifth place.
On the board. Nice one.
4 left. Blue Moon Brazilian.
Brazilian.
Yeah, figure out the striker.
Guys. Agra.
Are you playing my hair? You're playing this game.
He's just being the floating head.
It's so funny. I can't believe
All
it's
right,
figured out now.
Who's the striker we're talking about?
Agra. The
Jesus.
striker.
Yeah, Gabriel Jesus. Jesus. Six correct answers. Gabriel Zeus. Red was the answer. Reds has a streak of 4 answers in a row. Third, Shipwreck. Tony Shipwreck fourth. Stagger Lee fifth. And AFC Reds still in there with Rami Yasu. Okay, 3 left. Everton striker. Couldn't think of anything more simple than that. Everton striker.
Ay.
Very well, Linu. Cat Verl, Inwell, Trevor Newell, Everact Wellen.
Everett Willen. This anagrams is fire.
It might hurt your head though,
Very
right?
well learn you. Very well learn you.
Okay, so who's the striker we're talking about? Dominic
God, why do you have a timer set so long, right? Come on.
Because I told all
No,
of you,
I don't think I will, really. I think I've cocked this one up.
it's not about time. 6 correct
Yeah.
answers of blue.
You still get more points for getting it in first, Ray, so don't tell me that. You're lying to me, Ray.
Yeah, you got to get it in first. Time is important.
Well done, Reds.
Reds taking the lead. Rami has the second.
I was
Sentiment
took the
is in
I
there.
for an L on the blue one, so I thought it had 2 L's rather than an I, so I didn't think it was right.
Why not said give me the Arsenal job? So I got to climb that table. Why not is climbing the table? Breaking into the top 3. 2 left here. Villain striker. Leggy, skin tag, Loitel, Zelly, gate zone, Oil, Winsack.
Oil Winsack.
Willem
Yeah.
striker.
You shouldn't have to be working too hard. We got 4 answers in, 3 left to go.
Okay.
3 hours until the fucking answer pops up.
Did you get your answer in, Tony?
I might have redeemed myself a little
What's
bit.
the name of the striker? Ollie Watkins, right?
Aye.
He scored yesterday for Villa. Okay, 5 correct answers. Oily Winsack.
Liggy. No man, het was Liggy skin tag.
Sally Gate Zone was not the correct answer.
He's an Arsenal fan as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
Staggerly up
absolutely.
to 4th. He is an Arsenal fan. Tony Shipwreck dropped to 5th. Sentiment is in there. Ramiasu is in there. AFC Reds might have the lead. It's
I
second
think it's
place.
unassailable
Second
unless
place.
he misses the next one.
Hit it quick, Matt. Get it in there fast.
Would be United reject.
He would be a United reject
Uh-huh.
player. He's a
It's actually a
striker.
good one, eh?
On his day, but he splits opinions.
No,
a lot.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Not interested, Maher. Not interested.
Not interested. No.
Those of you who are behind might get a quick answer in. You might be.
I hit my damn button wrong. Oh well.
I need to go get one.
I actually only missed one. I don't know what happened with the first one because I hit blue.
Yeah.
So the striker is Marcus Rashford.
The Calvert-Lewin one that did me, because I thought the blue answer, which was the correct answer, had two L's in it rather than the I. It tricked me.
3 correct answers of orange. Kursram Shardorf is the winner. Is the winning answer there. The Hunter Strike anagram podium place. 3rd place. Red.
Hey, well done, Reds.
Sentiment gets 2nd.
Well done, Sentiment.
Give him the Arsenal job. He brought himself up to closer to
Hey.
Matt, you're the winner today. Runners up, Tiger and Tony Shipwreck. So yeah, there you go.
Good effort, everybody. Well done.
Bye, Mahir. Meep meep.
And the hair's gone.
Floating
All right.
head. That wasn't my hair. It's just my hair's floating head. I'm not sure if all of him was there.
The assembled is here.
Field.
So lads, throw a few questions in there if you want. Why not said you screwed up the second question I failed, I will win the trophy next week. So why not keep coming back? I decided to make it just a little bit more difficult, Matt.
Brady said he bottled it.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. It definitely made you slow down a bit because you had to pay attention. As I found out on the Calvert-Lewin one.
The assemble said, "Evening, chaps. We won again!" Exclamation mark. Don't worry about the performance. We'll understand the consequence of our performance next season. There's a lot in that sentence there. Enjoy the victory. No pleasing some people. The second part of that, Matt, is we'll understand the consequence of our performance next season if we play the same way with the same people, right, in the team.
Yeah. Like I say, I think we just got to focus on the fact that we got 3 points. We haven't capitulated and fallen apart at the end of the season where, those 3 defeats could have been the turning point, and it could have been the point where we really went on a downward spiral and it ended up costing us 4th place. But we haven't done that. We've bounced back with 2 really important good wins against Chelsea and United. We've kept the momentum against West Ham. And that's a really good sign because, Arsenal teams of the last few years, we tend to kind of tail off after Christmas, and then just kind of die off at the end of the season. We have a few injuries, and we can't seem to string games together, and it's we're showing a bit more resilience than we used to have, which is great. And like I say, to be honest, to be sat there looking at fourth place as a very, very viable finishing spot this season is, well, it's way beyond what I expected at the beginning of the season. Let's put it that way. I didn't predict anywhere above sixth at the highest. So to be sat there looking at fourth, you know, and being disappointed when we were potentially out of fourth is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I think we just need to focus on West Ham. Yes, it wasn't the greatest performance, but we got 3 points. We can win ugly, and ultimately the performance won't really matter in the long run. If we hit, as long as we hit top four, that win, we won't remember the performance so much. We'll just remember the fact that we won dirty, we won ugly, and we got the 3 points, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. The Tony. The thing is as well, why not said more goals? Yes, 2 less losses, but not much improvement. I think we were sat here at the end of the season last year talking about the fact that we drew too many games, we dropped too many points, and we drew 7 games last season, and we've only drawn 3 of those games now.
Yeah, but we still have way too many losses though.
Yeah, looking at it, we lost 13 last season. We lost 11 already. We have lost. Next season has to be about not losing as many games as well. But the
Have to
improvement
be about balancing 4 competitions.
Yeah,
which is going to be a whole lot of content for next season. Just by itself, you know.
That's bad, yeah.
Juggling 4 different competitions.
And it doesn't sound we're going to sign a bunch of players. We're just going to sign a couple of established players and be done with it.
Yeah.
It'll be a mix, I think.
Let me get that to that in a minute. But last season we drew 7 games. This season so far we've drawn 3. And we've picked up 8 or 9 points just by doing that.
Can we see Brownie's postal code one more time?
Yes. Well, you'll see it more than one more time, right? It's not going to be the last time you see it, right?
No.
A lot of L's in there, right?
Yep. Those damn preseason games.
A lot of L's and a lot of W's, not a lot of D's. If we can turn some of those L's into D's next season as well, not lose 11 games, Matt, that will represent improvement. And
I'm just glad nobody wants European football this year.
It's going to be really tough. It's going to be really tough because, like you say, we are going to be in more competitions, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see how we balance the needs of all of those competitions whilst trying to maintain or improve upon this season.
He's had to switch his technique because his technique now is just playing with same players in every competition. And
well,
you can't do that.
That's going to change, isn't it? Ultimately, because we can't do that. We cannot do that next season. And I think
we got to see academy players in the lower competition.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to say the least to see what we do in the summer to combat that, and how many people we bring in to reinforce the squad and what depth we have going into next season.
They do saying he wanted 22 outfield players and 3 goalkeepers. Doesn't he know in Europe you can register more players than that?
Yeah.
Domestic league has to be at the end of the day, league position next season and our domestic performance has to be the priority. Has to be the priority.
Hey, I've said it, right? The Champions League's coming up.
There's Rami Yasu. That's Rami Yasu there, the winner today. Tony, you're what?
I said we got to be in the Champions League the following season because it's a new format, 10 group stage games, lots more money. So hopefully we can go out and get the right players we want. I'm not sure about some of these lesser-known strikers we're talking about that are 70, 80 million pounds.
Gunnar Line, you're right. The easy part was getting the answers. The hard part was the anagrams.
That's true, yeah. But this gives us the platform, though, doesn't it? I mean, once you're in the Champions League, it opens doors for the level of talent that you want to go. That pool that you're swimming in and you're picking from for players suddenly opens up. And, players that right now wouldn't consider Arsenal.
And especially with the World Cup coming up.
Yeah.
They got 3 months to prove themselves for a World Cup time.
Tybe is here. If Arteta got sacked, I would send him a huge Eid Mubarak. Oh, well. Good to see you, Tybe, at the end here. And I told Matt here you were giving him a shout-out earlier in the week as well. Stan said there are 5 games we should have got more from: Brentford, Everton, Palace, Brighton, and Southampton.
But Everton
and United, that draw against United earlier on in the
Lost.
season as well.
Yeah, we lost to them.
It was a loss, yeah.
There are 2 Palace games we should have got more points from. So.
Yep. Definitely.
But we got lucky to get a point in the first one.
Definitely room for improvement. And we are not... We can talk about this more when we get top 4, when we seal the deal. You know what I mean? Eid Mubarak to everyone, even if you don't celebrate it. And tomorrow, I believe, is the last day of it. So, and then there's a big celebration. 14 points went begging. Says Dan Tielemans. Jesus apparently going to be 50 million combined. Go and get these deals.
That's what I would do.
Do it now. Get it done.
The other thing is teams show
Neves and Tielemans. That's easy, 50 million. Instead, we're looking at like 80 million midfielders. Just get 2 of them. 2. 2's better than 1. Especially the quality they are for the price you can get them for.
Okay, so Tony, next weekend we got Leeds United coming up. Mr. Tom is probably going to be covering his ears at this point.
Mr. Tom's having a fucking shit fit because Burnley started. Team started letting Burnley win.
Burnley won, and now Everton have gotten 3 points. They're 2 points closer to Leeds.
The pressure's on.
Pressure is
with
on.
a game in hand.
Yeah. And for us, Tottenham go to Liverpool at Anfield, and we got to mark that down as 3 points for Liverpool and none
Should
for
be.
that.
I really, really want them to get absolutely smashed off the park.
What day do they play, though?
They play, I think, before us on the Saturday.
So they play Tuesday in the Champions League?
You're talking about Liverpool now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're playing Tuesday. You're right. Let me check that out.
Yep, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, and Saturday, it's a late game on Saturday that Tottenham are going to go up to Liverpool. Of course, things open up if somehow Tottenham win up there. It's not beyond them. We have to consider this. I don't think it's going to happen. But if Tottenham go and win at Liverpool,
it's unlikely. But saying that, they did beat City
twice.
Twice, yeah. So as much as we all want to see Spurs go and get absolutely hammered at Anfield, which I think Liverpool will comfortably win that game, but I don't think it's going to be as easy necessarily as we'd like it to be.
Yeah, that means Liverpool's will win 5-0 now, Matt. Since you just said it won't be easy.
Play it down now, and then they'll go and get absolutely walloped at the weekend. It'll be great. But yeah, it's we just need Liverpool to do the job. I don't care whether it's 1-0, 5-0, 7-0. As long as they put 3 points on the board and don't give Spurs any, that's all I want to see.
Yeah. What did you think of Leeds yesterday against City, Matt?
Let me just bring it up actually, because what was the final score in that game?
4-0. I think while you're doing that, I'll talk to Tony.
Arsenal Luchador should have showed up after that scoreline.
Yeah, but I thought Leeds gave a good account of themselves, and City were went ahead by 2 goals, and they just got picked off toward the end.
That's right. Yeah, I was going to say I thought that was the case. Because if I remember rightly, they did all right, and then they started grabbing a couple of goals, and then it all fell to pieces, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I did watch that game.
Yeah, one early one kind of killed them, and they late goals after that.
So what I'm saying though is Leeds play a high pressing game, a high energy game, and it's something that obviously we're going to talk about this Thursday night, but Arsenal need to be ready for that energy, Tony.
Yeah, we need to be up for it. We haven't been up for any of these recent games. It'd just be nice to see us play a complete 90 minutes. I don't think it's possible with this team for whatever reason. Whether it's a manager, the players, there's just something missing there.
Brady said, just do our own jobs. And, Arsenal are going to have to break through those lines. Leeds are going to press hard, but Arsenal need to break through the lines and pick them off.
It's been 7 games now since we've had a clean sheet. Yay.
Yes. The Aston
that
Villa
was the game, wasn't it, in March?
The Aston Villa game before the breakup for the international setup. So, Matt, we've reached that mark of 20 wins. Want to add on a few more now. 63 points out of 66. We want to get more than 66 points as well.
Come on, Ray. Admit your math is off, and 66 isn't enough.
My math is off. I'm gonna say that right now, so you don't heckle me for the rest what remains of the season. My math was off. We wanted
historically, it's always been 70 to 72 to 75, somewhere in there. So,
well, I hope we can get that. Gunnar Glenn said, "What if Liverpool do us a favor by beating? Do we relegate Everton in return?" Yeah,
hey, happily,
right? Gary's back. Gary successfully avoided the Kahoot quiz.
Conveniently had to be out for that specific period of time.
No, I see. I would have stayed if I would have known that I would be right.
Gary's outside the Emirates all by himself.
There you go. I'm out here. Yay. Arteta out. All right. Arteta out. Right about myself.
Gunnar Glenn said, if Liverpool do us a favor, should we return the favor at the end of the season, Gary? And relegate Everton in return.
I think we're not have to beat them.
Yeah, if we have to win to stay in, then so be it. Sorry, Everton, but it'd be nice to get some of those youngsters to come out and play.
You can ask Tom who he wants us to relegate, Leeds or Everton.
Hey, you know what? Leeds is just they're in a really bad. They're in a bad place at the wrong time.
I know it. And just 3 weeks ago, they had a 5% chance of getting relegated when we went from 75% to finish in the top 4 and went down to like 20%. I don't know what it is now, but things have reversed in the last 3 weeks.
So Gary, next Sunday, Tottenham will have been beaten by Liverpool the day before.
Ray's seeing into the future.
Looking into the future.
Crystal ball is better than mine.
Yeah, yours wasn't so good. We won't talk about that. So Leeds will come into the Emirates. They're going to bring high energy, high pace. Did you see them yesterday against City?
Yeah, they looked. I did watch that game. I think. Who did it? What was it?
No,
my mind just went blank there.
The same thing.
I watched it. I remember them doing quite well into a point, and then they kind of leaked a couple of goals and then kind of fell apart. Yeah. But it doesn't stick in my mind, the game. I can't.
They gave one up at 13 minutes, and the next one was like 50th.
It's the game where they rolled up huge wads of paper and things. And
I remember that. Yeah,
but you know what? I for me, that whole part, that all the balling up and all the paper and stuff. Grealish has lost whatever he had going into that last season, before he left his home team, right? I mean, he's not the same player. They definitely don't need him.
No.
I mean, it's an expensive money. I mean, you look at all the players that have cost, upwards of 80 plus that come into the Premier League. They just have not done anything for.
Do you think they'll try to
any of their teams? Look, you got.
I might try to loan him out.
Sancho. you got Lukaku. All three of them, as far as the money that you spent on them, they got no return on that investment right now.
Yeah.
Sancho
The
still
thing
has
is
a
with
future.
Grealish is that he's a very, very good player, but it's easy to look. No doubt, he's a very, very good player.
2 goals, 2 assists all season.
But it's easier for him to be a star man in a mediocre squad than it is to go to a City team full of absolute superstars and shine there. You know,
We're not even asking him to outshine anyone. We're asking, you got more than enough. You have more than enough help to make you look good. At the end of the day, he should have more than four goal contributions in a season, regardless of all of that stuff that you're about to say.
For us, he can still say it though. But we know
better than 4 goal contributions in the Premier League. I believe he is on that team, especially on that team. Right? He should be better than Saka, Gabriel, Martinelli. I mean, all those players, he shouldn't even be close to them in terms of like the output that he's producing, and he's not on that team.
And some people wanted Grealish at the Emirates as well. Grealish would have been at home at Arsenal as a star man. Didn't even play Grealish in the Champions League. All right.
But what will be done with Grealish when we have Odegaard?
They don't play the same position for me. I don't think we would expect the same out of Grealish as we do out of Odegaard.
Grealish is more left wing.
Yeah.
Pep players always do better in their second season. Maybe he'll come good next season. Maybe. Any other points we want to talk about, or we'll get out of here?
I wanted to talk about our former captain wanting to be captain again, but you didn't want me to let me talk about it.
It sounds like a good point to end the show. All right, Tony. Thank you.
That's why I asked if you wanted to talk about something. So let's talk. You want to talk about it? Start it off. Granit Xhaka wants to be captain again, you think?
He said it. There's no thinking about it. His exact quote was, I want to be captain again.
He's ready to do it.
He's happy here. He's
leading without the armband, but he's there and ready if he's called upon. It was pretty much it.
So, Tony, I thought Granit Xhaka misplaced a lot of balls today, and he was a big part of the problem in midfield. I think he slowed the game down. And I just wondered myself, what do you think Mikel Arteta thinks about it? Does he treat him the same as Pepe? If Pepe was doing that,
Do we see Pepe? So no. Do we see Xhaka after a red card? Yes.
He treats players differently then. That's what Arteta does, right?
He has his pets.
Yeah. You think he would give him the armband back, Tony?
It wouldn't surprise me one bit. I think Odegaard's will be the one that gets it, but it wouldn't surprise me if Xhaka gets it when Odegaard's out.
Gary,
surprises me one bit.
He can't do that, Gary, right? Knowing the history of Granit Xhaka, we can't go back there.
I don't believe he should. Yeah, no, he shouldn't. No, I mean,
he shouldn't be here to get it, but
I mean, that's the point. He's looked at as a
Have
leader.
you accepted he's gonna be here next year yet, Ray?
I'm not good. Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that question. He could be here next season. Yeah, he could be.
He's looked at as a leader on this squad, and Arteta keeps saying it, and the fans aren't going to take it. I don't think. I mean, I think it would be. That might be the one thing that gets him out of the club. Because I think that he would have a lot of fans just like not getting it, because it's not, like you can do better than him, I believe, but everybody says there's nobody out there who does a job better than Jacques, and I find that hard to believe that we can't find somebody who can do a job better.
I think Elneny does, but
I
don't mind to think that.
So and I'm like. Well, he only looks better now because you've given him less to do. So you can't be that he's not. If you take the first half of the season to what he's doing now, there's a totally different responsibility that he has on the pitch now, and it's less in less risky areas of the pitch. Right? We don't ask him to come back as much. He's forced up the pitch.
Yeah, but in attack, he hurts our attack because he's up there.
Well, it doesn't hurt our defense, which is it was the reason why I think a lot of people weren't too impressed with him, right?
Yep.
I don't know what you guys think. You think
If he's been moved further up the field, then the objective
I
is
would play Smith Rowe in that position though. If he's playing on the left, play Smith Rowe there.
the objective is to minimize his mistakes at the back. We saw in the Carabao semi-final, especially at Anfield, karate kicking.
I mean, how do you say that's a leader in your squad when you have to switch things around to make him look better?
You have to hide his deficiencies.
It makes no sense to me. If you're going to do that for better, talented players that are going to give you more. If you did that for Pepe, he'd have 20 goal contributions easy for the way that we play.
Yep.
And that's
Smith Rowe.
Part of that's on Pepe because he doesn't have it in here to want to go and do it. But that's also he needs somebody to prod him along, right? He needs somebody like prod him along, like, come on, let's go. And that's got to come some from his manager, some from a leader on the pitch.
I think Pepe is still that player. Come on, you got it. Let's go. We'll just do
He's going to be released from Arteta's basement first, Ray. He's been locked there for about the last 6 months.
Yeah.
I don't know where he is. Pepe might as well have just gone on a round the world holiday.
80 days around the world, right?
And how much can we get for him in the summer? 20 million?
You're not going to get anything for him.
Yeah.
You're not getting much for him at all.
I was thinking one thing, Gary, just recently overnight. Zaha, Wilfred Zaha. We watched we were doing the Premier League watch along, and Crystal Palace won the game in the last minutes with Zaha. And many say we could have had Zaha instead of Pepe. Do you think
Emery wanted him?
Do you think Arteta would? Do you think Arteta would have used Zaha properly?
I don't think he would. I don't think he likes those.
Does
types
he use
of players.
anybody properly?
Does Tony talk for everybody now? What's going on?
I was locked in Walmart for a fucking hour and a half.
That was your fault. You went there in the first place.
Ding, 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 ding. Ready?
That's almost like saying I was speeding. I was going 100 miles per hour, but a cop pulled me over. No, you were going 100 miles per hour. It wasn't the cop's fault. You went to Walmart. You suffer the consequences. Sorry, you know better. On a Sunday, you went to Walmart. Come
on. Mr. Grumpy Pants.
Ready? Was that good enough? Ready?
No, that was a question, Ray, because he threw me off there.
Would Zaha have prospered under Mikel Arteta?
No, because he's not the right kind of. He's not an Arteta player. I think his head is just not going to fit in. He doesn't have the right kind of mental, whatever you want to call it, whatever the mentality is that Arteta's looking for. I think he's probably a loose cannon for Arteta style of play. Yeah. Right, because he will go out there and give you some good games, but then he also lose his head on the pitch, and I think that's going to be a negative for it. I mean, he likes it when Xhaka does it, but he doesn't like it for a lot of other players, and I think Zaha would be that type of player that would just rub him the wrong way.
Yeah, I'm going to get back to the assembly. Asked a couple of questions. How many goals has the defender scored this season against our attackers? I mean, for defenders, I think we've weighed in. The defenders have weighed in pretty well, Tony, this season.
I think it's only four, though. Oh, wait, 4 center backs. Sorry.
Yeah. Gabriel's got about 4 goals by himself. Holding scored.
That's not including our fullbacks.
Yeah, it's 4 when you have Holding and you have Gabriel.
Yeah.
Those two together are 4. I don't think White has a goal. Nope.
The other question to the assemble, is it possible Arsenal can get all of the defense, midfield, and attack actually playing together at the same time, making a unit, thereby making a fully functional team? You're talking about Liverpool right there, or City, a team that can fully functional. Until we get the right players in place and target the right players, Matt, we won't be at that stage. And
we're not quite
where
there
we
yet.
want to be, right?
Absolutely. There's that kind of missing link. We're almost there. It's just not quite as fluid, both in defense and attack and the transitional stuff. It's not quite there. You see it sometimes. It's there in phases. It's just not consistent. But like I said, I think hopefully with a few additions over the summer and next year, starting the season, we'll see that a little bit better. I've got faith that we will see it, providing we buy the right people to add to our squad.
Yeah. it's going to be important, the targeting and acquisition. Stefan's here. Hope you are good, ready, mate. And Stefan's probably happy because Norwich got relegated yesterday. Stefan's an Ipswich supporter. It's easy to get rid of one rather than 30. Yeah, but then if you get rid of one, aren't you really getting rid of a lot more than one as well? Because you're changing a lot of players.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to change your players just because you get a new manager in.
Some will go. It's not just the
Eventually, but not to start. You don't.
7
have to go
goals
and just-
from the defense, right? 7.
And Tony comes in like after we've moved on. You know the
Ray
curtain's
wanted to
been-
know the answer to a question. I answered my fucking
From
question.
before.
It was the assembled wanted to know. There you go. So
Whoever
right.
wanted to know.
all right, listen. Final thoughts, Tony. Since you started, finish. Final thoughts, Tony.
3 points. We move on.
Wow, that's very concise. Matt,
Every game's cup final now until the end of the season, and just hoping that Liverpool go and mash the Spuds and give us a better chance at it. So
Oh.
come on, Liverpool, do us a favour.
And I hope
Helen,
Saka's
help
fit.
us out.
and Tommy Asu as well. I went off with a thigh injury, so hopefully it's just cramp or something like that.
What's wrong with our players' thighs, Ray?
You're
I don't know,
obsessed with our players' thighs, Tony.
It's not my fault. 3 of them
Dream
have
of
thigh
our
problems.
players' thighs.
He wasn't so worried about Partey's ties. It was more Saka's. But now you're worried about another tie as well. So listen,
Morning, noon, and night. All it is from Tony is thighs, thighs, thighs.
And what you had for dinner. That's all I care about.
all right,
Thighs
Tony,
and
you
dinner.
got 2 minutes to get this information for the assembled. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you. How many has our attackers scored, please? He's on it.
I'm on it.
Gary, a gritty 3 points, nervous 3 points. Put whatever adjective you want to put in there, but a much needed 3 points. Rob Holding's first goal in I think 81 games or ever for Arsenal, and Gabriel atoning for, if we want to call that mistake Gabriel's mistake, then he definitely atoned for it with a consummate finish on the back post for the header and winning. Now we go to Leeds, Gary.
Yeah, and just get the 3 points anywhere we can, right? And that's what we did today. I mean, as many have said, as ugly as we played, we got the 3 points. So at the end of the day, it worked. Whatever we did, we took we took opportunities that we had and we put the ball away.
10.
You know,
10 to 7.
what in the world is going on here? What? What does that have to do with what I'm talking
10
about?
for our strikers, 7 for our defenders.
That doesn't seem right. Well, we got wingers as well, right? Okay, 10 for strikers. Okay.
Our wingers are where the goals are coming from. We know
Yes.
this. We've got like almost 30 points from our wingers, so we'll take that. But can I finish up, Tony? You got anything else you want to say before we go?
I was answering the fans' questions. I'm catering to our fans.
Oh, you kidding?
Tony was graciously catering to the Assemble's questions. So
Yeah, nah, like I said, we got the 3 points. We just need to do that. You know, it'd be nice to do that 4 more times, all right? 4 more times, 12 points out of 12 points would be nice. All right, here we go. Tony, you want to like just
I think the Assemble is just pranking us at this
you got
point.
10 from
He's
Milsrud,
prodding,
11
that's
from
he's
Xhaka. You've got 6 from Martinelli, so that's what, 20, 27?
Can you
He's
do the
not a midfield.
goalkeepers?
He's a winger.
Right?
Tony, can you do the goalkeepers and the wingers as well and the coach?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, yeah. So, like I said,
How many free kicks has Partey scored in training?
now you're
Tony?
jumping in too. Look at this. See what you're doing?
He's got one. Fine,
You
ain't
guys,
got one goal.
you guys don't like when I talk. I don't understand why.
You talk all the fucking time, Gary. We don't get words in.
Gary, I appreciate you, Gary.
Thank you, Ray. I don't know.
Love you, Ray.
But anyways, like I said, 3 points is 3 points is 3 points. So that's good. Leeds, we need to get 3 points. Sorry, Mr. Tom, you're going to be upset come
He
weekend
knows.
again. So
We've been
But we
warning
need-
him. We've been warning him, Gary.
Yeah.
Great
Actually, I
shot.
lied. Defenders have 8 goals. I missed Nunez goal.
Nobody,
Cavaz's goal.
nobody cares.
Yes.
Really, we
Yes,
don't.
against United. The assemble cares. What about the midfielders? Listen, great show and chat room. Listen, that's what makes this. It's a community here, so great to see all of you here. Go and see Gary tomorrow over on DWTT YouTube.
And Tony, if Gary lets me on now.
I don't know. We're gonna have to check this out and see if it's gonna work. I don't know if it's gonna work.
Bob is downstairs.
Has it not been working? Has it not been working, Gary?
I don't know. This
I
Tony
think
guy.
tonight killed it.
Tony's Tony. No,
19 goals from the midfield.
and now he just brings out numbers out of nowhere, and he's like,
I'm bringing the final numbers.
"There we go."
Final
So now
word.
you have it here.
Tony's turned into Rain Man.
Wait, why didn't you count Martinelli's goals?
Because he's a winger.
Isn't
That's
that
why.
what Saka and?
Do you want me to do the wingers? I'll do the wingers real quick.
Oh no! I'm sorry. Did I start that? No. It's okay, Tony. But anyways, thank you, everyone.
There is a link. There is a
I don't
link.
even get to finish my say. Anyways, that's why it takes so long, because you interrupt, so that adds another 5 minutes to the show. And then Ray has to then go in. Matt already did his thing. You know what? Was supposed to be 2 minutes was 10 minutes.
I was giving you the honor and privilege of having the last say, but
I keep trying.
I'm trying.
17 from our wingers.
There we
for
go.
whoever's
So
keeping-
now we get all the numbers, right?
I think we should do that on Thursday. We should tease that out a bit more on Thursday night. Tony is the only guy we want to listen to. Says Stephen only. only says Stephen. He keeps
Tom would say it. Randy probably would say it too. I got more love.
Get them told, Tony lad. Well, Stephen, you want to hear Tony? Come back on Thursday night. We'll be there. And
I still want Stephen to come to the back room.
If you can't wait for
Come
more
backstage.
Tony, he'll be on with Gary tomorrow. Go check them out. So, did everybody get to say everything they wanted to say? Matt,
Gary never gets to say what all he wants to say.
What's for dinner tonight, Matt, or did you have it already?
Leftover. Well, I kind of had it, but we've got leftover barbecue stuff from earlier. So if I feel peckish, I can go and pick at some barbecue stuff. So
He didn't narrow it down. He just said barbecue. That's kind of a generic answer.
Stephen.
burgers, sausages, bits of steak.
Yeah. This is going to the Northland Derby in a state of dominance, right? We'll go to the Spuds on 66 points, hopefully. Them on 61. They will boil. I like my potatoes mashed with some butter and a little bit of milk. Thanks, guys. Loved it tonight. Thanks, Russ. Go check out Gary and Tony. They'll be next up tomorrow. Say good night, Tony.
Good night, Tony.
There is a link if anyone wants to join us backstage, especially that guy at the start of the podcast who seemed pretty eager. Take care, everyone. Three big points today.